The charity we started in the autumn of 2008, Kidz Klub Brighton Hove, is 2 years old. In fact, we've just celebrated our 2nd birthday at one of the weekly clubs that we run.
It's Kidz Klub's birthday! Happy birthday!
And it's been an incredibly exciting 2 years. We're now running 5 clubs every week. That's 3 kids clubs and 2 youth groups. We get 200 children and young people at those clubs every week. That's more than we were getting at the old CCK Kids Club when we used to bus them in double-deckers. The vast majority of the children we work with have no Christian or church background, and many of them are from quite challenging areas and family situations. We're now working with about 50 volunteers from various churches across the city. It all started when the old kids club we used to run closed in the summer of 2008. We have cards and letters from children and from parents, and one of them was from a girl in Fishersgate, and she wrote this to us. She said, "To Kids Club, I will miss you. When you sent me that letter, I was sad and I cried. I had tears down my eyes and on the paper. Thank you for all the good times and thank you for everything. I will miss your smiles. I will miss that so much, I'm beginning to cry. P.S. Thank you for the good times and all the helpers." So, what do? We felt a big sense of responsibility for the children we'd been working with and who love kids clubs so much. There was no way we could just walk away from them and wave goodbye. That would have been unthinkable. So after a lot of thinking and praying and chatting, discussing with others, we decided to set up our own charity so the work could continue. That wasn't the easiest way forward, especially from a financial point of view, but we believed that was absolutely the right one. So the adventure began. We were confident we were going in the right direction, but didn't know exactly what to expect. Then the elders at Oasis Church in Hangleton, North Hove, approached us.
One of the reasons we approached Kids Club a couple of years ago now was because we were reaching a point where our own children's work was beginning to lose a bit of impetus and momentum. I think we recognised that we lacked numbers in terms of staffing, but we also lacked that kind of critical expertise that we felt really makes a difference in reaching children and keeping their interest. And knowing that Kids Club was available to support churches locally was a really good timing for us in terms of inviting Kids Club to come and work in partnership with us at Oasis and bringing in their experience and expertise to rejuvenate our work with children in the local community. We average 50-60 children coming now on a Thursday night for Kids Club, whereas before it may have been 12 to 15, so it really has made quite an impact. And what is more, many of the children really come on a regular basis, so we're kind of building relationships with them, which of course is really central to what we're trying to do. So overall we could say that our children's work since working in partnership with Kids Club really has taken off in a way in which the work done previously just by the church alone had not, so that's been a really immense benefit.
As with all the clubs we run, we put on a very wide range of recreation and fun activities. That first part of the evening is a great opportunity for the children to have a lot of fun and for team members to get alongside them, helping them feel esteemed and special.
Then, in the second part of the evening, we have the VIP time. That's the very important part of the evening, when they learn about God, sing songs to Him, play games all together, and we test them on the Bible bit. We also give prizes for the various competitions of the week. A lot of visitors find it amazing that the kids can go from being noisy and excited to being absolutely still and silent when we bring the teaching.
A few months after starting Kids Club Oasis, we realised we needed something for children who became too old for Kids Club. So we started a youth group which runs straight after Kids Club. We called it OY, O-Y, Oasis Youth. That youth group now numbers around 40 young people. At the moment, we're doing Youth Alpha with them on alternate weeks and running a normal OY evening, if any OY evening could possibly be normal, on the other weeks.
Kids Club
Then early in 2009, we got together with the pastor and children's leaders at New Life Church in Mulscoon.
Yeah, so we were doing a work with a small number of children and finding it quite difficult to sustain because we'd lost a number of volunteers, and so we came to a point where we really had to pray about how we were going to continue this. We weren't ready to give up. We believed that God was in it in some way, and it was at that point that Chris approached me about perhaps working with them in Kidz Club, and it was a real answer to prayer. We knew it was an answer to prayer, and so we went from then on to meet with the Kidz Club team, and things really went on from there. And there was a great vibe, a real sense of God being in this, and so we've been running Kidz Club now for I guess 18 months, maybe 2 years, and it's gone from what we was doing before, working with struggling with a small number of children from the estate, but a good work to retaining some of that, retaining those people and retaining some of the values of what we was doing there, but having added a lot more. So we'll gather up to as many as sort of 50-60 children now. So it's absolutely great, week after week. Lots of young children hearing the gospel, learning about Jesus, and particularly at a time when most children have no kind of Sunday school experience or anything like that anymore. So it's in many ways laying some kind of a basis and a foundation for young children as they grow up in unbelieving backgrounds with some knowledge of God. So we've benefited hugely from it, and it's been a thorough blessing to us.
So that was 2 Kidz Clubs and 1 youth group up and running. Kidz Club Oasis and now Kidz Club Mulscoon. A bit later in 2009, I met a lady called Jan, who was then at Emmanuel Family Church in Patcham, an Elim church. She said to me, our church needs a Kidz Club. So to cut a long story short, she chatted with her pastor, we all met together, and Kidz Club Carden for children in Patcham and Hollandbury was launched in the autumn of last year. We're now also running a youth group at Carden. Through all the clubs we're running, we're now back in weekly contact with many of the children who used to come to the old Kidz Club, and we are very thrilled about that. Members of our teams try and visit all our regular Kidz Clubbers every week. We take the weekly Kidz Club news sheet round to their homes so they know what's happening at the next Kidz Club, and so they can do the weekly colouring competition. If we don't have enough team members who can visit, we put the Kidz Club news sheet in the post. Our aim is always to build relationship not just with the children, but with their parents and whole families too. These families we visit are very warm to us, and we have won a lot of goodwill for Kidz Club and for the churches we partner with because of the programme we're running for their kids. One of the children I used to visit in Hollandbury each week for several years was a boy called Connor. I even visited him for a few weeks in hospital when he had broken his leg. We first met Connor when he was 8. He's now nearly 17 and has a major role in every one of our 5 weekly clubs and with everything else we do. He's responsible for all our techie stuff. He does our websites, a lot of our publicity, letterhead, business cards, teaching and training visuals, DVD production, just masses of brilliant work. Although running weekly clubs is the main thing we do, it's definitely not the only thing. Every few months we lead a family service at Oasis Church. We run it cafe style with Kidz Clubbers dressed as waiters and waitresses serving the congregation with refreshments. For the past 2 summers we've also run a holiday club at Oasis in partnership with Holland Road Baptist Church. We've worked closely with a great guy from that church called Matt Lovell. One of the absolute highlights of 2010 has been taking 10 young people from Boy away on a Christian holiday called Surf the Wave at Dalesdown. This was a holiday led by our friends John and Becky Bebb. It was a fantastic experience for our young people. We had some great outings and activities and a lot of excellent Christian input. Many of the young people we took testified that they came closer to God on that holiday and understood more about Him. Debbie and I hadn't taken young people away for years, but at Dalesdown we were powerfully reminded of the immense value this is. We're now committed next summer to taking young people from all our clubs away on holiday. A big vision usually has big financial implications, and I guess Kidz Club Brighton Hove is no exception to that. If we're wanting to see this young generation impacted in a way that changes life in this city, we're going to need an increase in our income to help make that happen. The most helpful way of supporting us is by a monthly standing order, even if that's for just £10 a month. That would be fantastic. If you'd rather give us a one-off gift, of course we would be equally delighted and grateful. Thank you very much for watching this DVD. Please play it to as many people as you can. And please pray for us. Please support and stand with us. And if you can arrange an event where we could come and present Kidz Club Brighton Hove to your friends or to your church, that would be a terrific opportunity for us. We're going to end by going back to that very sad letter from the girl in Fishersgate who was so upset when the old Kidz Club closed. Linda, who's one of our wonderful trustees, and I help with a monthly children's club in Fishersgate called Fun Zone, and this girl attends that club, so we saw her just the other Saturday. This girl doesn't have the privilege of a Christian background, but she wrote this as part of one of the activities the children did that Saturday morning. She said, "God is my best friend. He's always there. I'm never going to leave God's side, and I know He's never going to leave mine, and I will always have room for Him in my heart." It's now nearly 2.5 years since the old Kidz Club ended. How amazing it is that this girl has continued to grow in her faith, and she's really learnt to cling on to God. It's very encouraging when seed we sow produces fruit like that. And that's just one tiny example out of many wonderful, exciting things that are happening across the city. Please support us so we can sow lots more seed over the next years. And we trust and pray, see lots more fruit in young lives right across the Brighton and Hove area.
Hey, hey, I wanna praise you. I said, yeah, yeah, I wanna lift you high. Hey, hey, I wanna praise you. I said, yeah, yeah, I wanna lift you. Yeah, hey, hey, I wanna praise you. I said, yeah, yeah, I wanna lift you high. Hey, hey, I wanna praise you. I said, yeah, yeah, I wanna lift you high. Every day I'll choose to worship. Every day I'll choose to sing. Every day I'll lift your name up high, 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 up high. Hey, hey, I wanna praise you. I said, yeah, yeah, I wanna lift you high. Hey, hey, I wanna praise you.
Right, 10 o'clock, been here for 6 hours, 4 to 10, fantastic evening. Kidz Club was brilliant, some really great times at Kidz Club tonight. And Youth Alpha with Oi, really, really well. That was great, it's worth it when things go well like that. So I'm home, going to have my dinner now. I've got my mustard, Sainsbury's mustard, 59p. So I'm going to go home, have my dinner, be here first thing tomorrow morning to clear my office up. And I've just remembered. I've got a puncture. Right, okay. Can't drive that. I forgot I had a puncture. So that's Sainsbury's car park. Gonna have to think of a plan B. Good night.